beauties, this is your girl Glams and welcome back to my channel. And today is just gonna be like I'm not getting ready to go anywhere. I just feel like doing makeup, so that's what we're gonna do. And if you guys are wondering where my hair is from, it's from Nadula Hair, and it's 3 bundles of 24-inch and a 20-inch lace closure. And I think it's 4x4. Yeah, 4x4. This hair is beautiful. So if you want a separate video about this hair, please hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed and leave a comment just so I know that you want, you know, some details about this. And just a little disclaimer, you might hear my baby in the background because she is on the floor and she's playing, so you're gonna see me occasionally, or you might not because I might cut it out, but you might see me like look in the back of me, and that's because my daughter is on the floor playing and I just want to make sure she's not getting into any trouble because she tends to do that. She's very adventurous for a 9-month. Okay, I'm gonna start by clipping my hair out the way. Let's talk about 2019. 2019 was a bittersweet year for me. And for you guys who know me personally, like people who know me, know that it was a very bittersweet year for me. Like a L that I didn't expect to happen. So in the beginning of the year, which is January, everything started off good. Like, I had goals for myself. I was pregnant with the twins and I planned to have them. Let me come closer and make sure I focus. I planned to have them like on my due date, and to come to find out that didn't happen due to complications. Everything was good. Like, Christmas was good, New Year's Eve was good, like New Year's Day was good. And then here comes the 26th of January. Don't live with my mom. I actually live with my boyfriend. And when I was pregnant, I was also living with my boyfriend. And I stopped living with my mom like in early 2018. I can say like April 2018. I stopped living with my mother. Didn't live with my mom. We still were very close because I always had that relationship with my mother, that we were really close and we always talked even when I didn't live with her, which was like most of my life. Like, I didn't live with her like most of my life, I could say, because for 11 years I was with my grandparents, which is her parents, and then I stood with her like some of my teenage years. I stood a year with my other grandparents, which was my dad's parents, around 13 years old. I stood about a year with them, and then I went back with my mom. So I stood with her up until 18 years old, and staying with her up until 18, we had some rocky patches. Like, me and my sister, we went through a lot like in life, and that's for another video. But yeah, it was rough. So I ended up being homeless at the age of 18, and I was still in school. I was still in high school. So I ended up having to move in back with my grandparents, which is my dad's parents. And this makeup is probably not going to be the best because I'm already not liking my brows. And then I was homeless and didn't have anywhere to go. Alright, so this was my senior year of high school. So I didn't want to go. I always had the opportunity to live with my grandparents in Middletown, but I didn't want to go for the simple fact that me and my sister have different fathers, and Like, we would have to split bases. Like, it was really but alright. Anyways, me and my mom talked every day on the phone, even if we didn't live together. It's hard to say this. Every time I say these words, it kind of I get teary-eyed, and I'm not trying to do that right now because I feel like I gave myself some time, and I feel like I can talk about it now. I had talked to my mom the day before because I was talking about like leaving my job and how I wanted to leave, and I had sent her the text message what I was gonna send to my then manager, and she was like, Shay, I don't think you should do it, but like, those of you who ever been pregnant with twins, or even pregnant period, and whatever, let's say Glams, some of you Glams might have a great pregnancy if you had twins or just a singleton, but it got very hard. I was like 5 months going into my I was actually 6 months pregnant. Then, yeah, I was 6 months pregnant. I look crazy right now, I know, but I'm gonna look like a bad bitch in a minute. The next day, I went to call my mom. The night before, I talked to her, and she was just telling me, let me see the babies, you know. And I don't know where I left off, but the next day, after I spoke to my mom about me quitting my job, the very next day, I had called her, and she didn't answer. So I kept calling and calling. But like the night before, I talked to her, and she was like, let me see your belly. And my mom never said that to me, and I was just like, why, Ma? Like, why you want to see my belly? Even doing that was a lot. I had to get up and turn the light on. So I'm just like, I don't feel like it. I'll show you tomorrow. And so I call her in the morning, and I keep calling her, and she's not answering. So my next thing to do is call my sister. And my sister didn't live with her at the time either. She lived with her boyfriend. So I call my sister. I'm like, you talk to Mommy? She's like, no, why? I tried to call her because she's supposed to come down here, because my mom did live like an hour and 15 minutes away. So from me, and probably like an hour and 45 minutes away from my sister, because me and my sister are 25 minutes away from each other. So she's like, she's supposed to come down here and bring me to the mall. And Aaron, which is my stepbrother, my little stepbrother, Aaron has to go to this birthday party, so I know she's coming down here. She's like, let me call you back. I'm gonna call her. So I guess she calls her and whatever, and I'm trying to call her too. Her phone is going straight to voicemail. And my sister's like, her phone's going to voicemail, Shaya. Like, that's weird. Like, I'm like, yeah, that is weird. I'm like, do you have Joseph's number, which is my mom's fiance at the time? And she's just like, no, I don't. I don't think she does. So I'm just like, damn. So I'm just like, you know what? Maybe she's sleeping or something. She needs to let her phone charge, and then she'll call us later. My sister's like, yeah, you're right, Shay. And I'm just like, yeah. Me and my sister stood on the phone, because me and her like to talk a lot. Because I was pregnant at the time, she just had the baby. So I always like to look at my nephew and, you know, talk to him, even though he was a baby. Then I got a phone call from my mom's phone. I'm like, oh, Mommy's calling me. Let me call you back. And she's just like, okay. So I click over. I'm like, yeah, Ma. She's like, and I hear her voice on the phone. I'm like, this is not my mother. So she's just like, I'm like, Aunt Ada? It's my great aunt, which is my mom's aunt, who lived near her. She was like, Shaya, I didn't want to call you with this because I know you're pregnant. I don't want to get you upset. But the ambulance is at your mom's house right now, and they've been working on her for 20 minutes, and nothing's happening. They said they're going to work on her for another 25. If nothing, they just got to let go. I'm like, what? Like, nothing's registering right now. Like, nothing's registering. Like, I'm like, what? She's like, I don't think your mom's gonna make it, Shaya. I'm like, make it. So I was like, okay, send me her address, send me her address, send me her address. Like, just text me her address. She's telling me her address. I'm like, send it to me in a text message. Send me the address. Because I've never been to my mom's house before. Because she just recently moved there. And I remember my mom telling me it, but like, she never texted to me or nothing. So I'm just like, can you just send me her address? She finally sends me her address. I call my sister in a panic, like, I don't think mommy is alive. She's like, what? And I'm like, I shouldn't have delivered that message. Looking back, I shouldn't have delivered that message the way I did to her, because like, she had the baby and she was home alone and she didn't have a car at the time. So like, I shouldn't have sent the message to her like that. But I didn't know how to react either. So I guess you can't really criticize yourself because you don't know how to react in that moment. Like, that moment is crazy for you. She's just like, what? I'm like, put your shoes on, get the baby together. I'm coming for you, and I'm going to get your boyfriend as well. And we're going to go to mommy's house. I'm going to try to call grandma. Grandma's not answering. I finally get in touch. I called my boyfriend, and I'm telling him he worked at the store at this time, and he was just like, what's going on, Shaya? Like, why you sound like that? I'm like, can you close the store in any way? And he's like, no, I'm the only one here. I'm like, but this is like, can you call someone and let them know that you're leaving? He's like, well, I was like, my mom, I don't think she's alive. And he was like, what? Like, in shock. And I'm like, yeah, like, Ada just called me. Can you get ready? I'm about to come pick you up. So he left his car there. He left his car there at home. I mean, at the store. I came and picked him up. And after I picked him up, I picked my sister up. And then I was just like speeding, guys. Like, I wasn't even asking people if they had their seatbelt on. And if you know me, like, I'm a big person on seatbelts. Like, if you get in my car, you have to put your seatbelt on, or I ain't going nowhere. So I had to go pick up my sister's boyfriend from work. Like, we all rushing up there, and I finally get my grandma on the phone. I'm like, mommy's dead, mommy's dead, mommy's dead. And she's just like, what? So she's like crying, and then I guess she fell on the ground or whatever, fell to the floor crying. So her boyfriend at the time had called me back, like, Shay, what's going on? And I'm just like, well, her boyfriend at the time, my grandma's boyfriend, he's still her boyfriend. He's like, Shay, what's going on? I'm like, my mom, she's not unresponsive. Like, we're on our way there now. I can text you the address. I have my sister texting the address. We get up there. My mom's still in her house. Like, they're still calling our phone. Like, are you guys on your way? And I'm like, yeah, like, we live an hour and 45 minutes away, an hour and 50, basically, because I had to go back and pick up my sister. And it's going to take us some time, obviously. Like, we're not going to be quick. We finally make it there. And my mom is, like, on the ground. Now, my sister didn't want me, or the ambulance people didn't want me to go in a room. They kept me outside, me and my boyfriend outside the room, because they didn't want me to view the body, because they're like, you're pregnant, Shaya, you're sick. Because I just found out that I was sick. I was on the verge of getting preeclampsia. And if you guys don't know what preeclampsia is, I will insert it right here. It's actually a very scary thing during pregnancy. So they didn't want that triggered, but automatically my mom's here anymore. So I'm gonna be triggered. My blood pressure's gonna be high. I'm upset. Anybody would be upset if their parent passed away, or someone very close to them passes away. Sister goes in there and she's screaming. I'm like, I want to see mommy. They wouldn't let me see her. I didn't get to see her to actually viewing the body before the funeral. That's the last time I seen her. Actually, the funeral is the last time I seen her. But it was just, even when I seen her of the viewing of the body, I was just like so full of emotions. I had to like glance and rush out of there. It was too much for me. It was really too much for me. So yeah, the beginning of this year, I took a very big L by losing my mother. And it was just crazy. I just had quit my job, and the very next day, my mom is not here anymore. So she died on a Saturday. It was very crazy. Like, I lost my mom in the beginning of this year, and you know, losing a parent at such a young age is very, very painful, because my mom is basically my only parent. The reason why I say that, my dad he's still alive. It's just that we're not close. We never been close. So in this life, I feel like I'm alone. Like, nobody's gonna love you how your parent loves you. And that's word. That's facts. I know that because I have children now. And I'm just like, nobody's gonna love them the way I love them, because they came from my body. Like, or even like a parent, just like a mother. Like, that's crazy. It's just so crazy to me. It's still so real. So real. It's just, I struggle on a day-to-day basis, like, to even get up sometimes. Sometimes, like, I get so depressed. I think negative thoughts. But the people who keep me grounded and, like, gets me out of that funk are my kids. Like, I shouldn't even say the people. My babies are the only ones. Just the thought of me not being here for them, like my mom's not here for me, kills me in the inside. So that's what stops me from thinking that. Like, but I hurt, especially during these times. I just need a minute. Especially during these times, I hurt because it's the holidays. Or I just hurt because I see other people with their mothers. I get really jealous. And I'm like, to think that I took that for granted and thinking that my mom's gonna be here for much longer than I expected hurts. Like, I could really relate to people now that lost their moms. Like at such a young age, or someone who they call their mother, because that person who nurtures you, like, if I had a problem, you always see these memes like on Facebook or, you know, on social media, period, like, oh, when I'm grown until, I seen one that was like, I'm grown until I have to make my own doctor's appointments, I call my mother. Or I'd be like, every time I get in a funk, the first person I call is my mother. Like, she could fix it. And the reason why we say that is because, like, now that I have kids, I understand it. Like, I feel like I could fix all their boo-boos. Like, even when they get older, I'm gonna feel that way. Like, you know? Or your mom just knows you, so she knows what to say. like, to make you feel better. Like, I remember I was having problems with this woman at my job, my last job, and my mom came up there. Ever since my mom came up there, that woman never disrespected me or talked to me like she used to talk to me before. Again, because she realized, like, she has a mother that will come up here and you know, because my mom didn't play when it came to me and my sister. The only people that could talk shit to me and my sister was her. In her eyes. That was the biggest L. And then the reason why it was sweet, because I had my babies 2 months later. Not even a month and a half later. I had my babies at 7 months, 7.5 months. Had them very early due to preeclampsia. They had to give me a C-section because my blood pressure was like, whoop, 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 whoop. It kept going up. Like, I believe the highest it got was like 90 over something, and they was just like, no, we got to get these babies out of you now. We could do natural, but it's a risk for your baby girl, so I couldn't do natural. Yeah, I was just happy I got out of there safe. I felt like my mom was with me the whole time I was there. It was a beautiful moment. If I could rewind back time, I would go back to when I gave birth to my babies, because it was really, like, I could say the happiest moment of my life, because that was just like a beautiful moment, just having excuse me, just having my boyfriend there, just having family coming around, you know. It was really beautiful. And guys, I had my babies the day after my baby shower. Literally the day after my baby shower. So, mind you, we didn't put any of the gifts away. They just called my boyfriend like, she's having a baby. She's having the babies. I'm like, damn, I'm really having the babies. So that was a really sweet moment. Also, what else? 2019, my mom passed in postpartum. Automatic crash. I thought it was good because after having my babies, I was good for a while. Until, I guess because I had my boyfriend around, because he took like a week off of work. And I had him around, and I was around like family. But you know, after like the first week, everybody like disappears and, you know, go back to their own lives. And I'm home alone at this point with the babies, so the thoughts just come into your head like, damn, my mom can't meet my kids. Oh, they will never know their grandmother. She would love them. And then I see my kids, see her in my kids, like, certain faces they make, I just be seeing her. Especially, like, no, I can't even especially Lex or especially Noms, because in the beginning, it was Noms, though. I'm telling you, it was Noms. Certain faces she would make. Say, huh? Mommy, love you so much. Let's talk about 2020. Let's get into 2020. Whole new decade. A whole new decade. We are entering a whole new decade, guys. Like, what the fuck? 2020. First of all, let's stop. Let's pause. And hit the pause on this video. And in the comments, tell me, what are you guys' big plan for 20? Because not 20. I feel like there are big plans in store for me. My business. If you guys don't know, I am selling wigs. I am selling and making wigs. All my information to get in contact with me will be down below. The website right now, but that is coming 2020. I just started making wigs, so, and this is one of the units. So I just started making wigs, but I just started selling wigs. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. But if you do want to place an order in the meantime, you can hit me up. Everything will be down in the description box. You can hit me up. I'll probably start selling on eBay first since we already have a store. And you can just place an order. You could just hit me up and place an order. Tell me what you want. I can quote you a price. And we can get this thing pumping. I am very reasonable, first of all. I'm more reasonable than a lot of people with prices, because honestly, I'm just starting my business for selling hair. It's gonna be on and popping this year coming. Also do makeup. So if you're in my area, I live in Connecticut, feel free to hit me up, hit your girl up. I have a whole beauty specialist page on my Facebook. You guys can like it if you add me as a friend. My brand name is Glams, just like everything else. As you guys can see, my channel name is Glams. So yeah, I want to be more organized. I also want to lose this weight because it's been a year. It's going on a year since I had the babies, and honestly I lost a lot of weight after having them because due to me throwing up constantly while pregnant. But don't mind her. She's always growling. But organized. As you guys know, I don't know if you guys know this, but I did start a calendar back in June because I had to put the baby's doctor's appointments. But I also want to get myself a planner, and I want to plan, like, put in my planner like my bookends. I also could put my bookends here. I actually got 2 bookings next week. I got a booking on next Friday, and I also got a booking on next Saturday. My dream anyways to have my own business, so I'm gonna work on that. 2020, we are starting up my business. We are taking business serious, and I'm still kind of shocked that I'm getting feedback that I'm getting, because I am honestly my worst critic. Everybody's their own worst critic.